will start with John Sauber.
Hey, Shaka, thanks for taking the time. We all saw your tweet earlier this year when there were a lot of rumors about whether or not the Big Ten would come back. What kind of impact was that having on you personally, and how were you handling sort of all of the reports that were going around at the time?
Me personally, it just got a little bit overwhelming. Every day, it's just rumor after rumor. I kind of just deleted social media and kind of just tried to zero out and just focus on what I could control, because that's the best thing you can do in this world. You know, it's one of our core values is control and like having a positive attitude. And you can't have one if you feeding into what everybody else is going on. You know, you got to just focus on what we had here and what we was doing right. And that's pretty much the best way I handled it.
Elton Hayes.
Hey, Shaka, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you. Hey, Shaka, last week, Penn State rolled out a voting video where members of the coaching staff, the football family, and players kind of encourage people to get out there and just get out and vote. This summer was big in terms of student athletes kind of realizing the voice that they had in their respective communities. I know Penn State was really vocal. Just, you know, with everything going on with just like, I guess, student athletes like yourself and others in your position having such a big microphone, you know, what does it mean to you? And where do you hope the dialogue shifts to moving forward?
Are you saying, like, what does it mean to, like, basically have a voice and a platform?
Have a voice and a platform, be able to use it as an influence.
I think it's crucial. You know, people watch sports and people love athletes. So you can have a chance, an opportunity at any given moment to speak on something that you feel strongly about. And, you know, if you're somebody like me who believe people should vote, no matter who you should vote for, you know, that's your right. That's your, by law, that's your right. But you should get out there and voice your opinion, because not voting and saying the government's a sham and their votes don't matter, they do matter. You know, we have a government in place that allow our voice to matter. So I believe firmly that you should go out and figure out who you like, do your homework, do your background, and make a conscious effort to vote, because it shows that you're actively participating on what's going on around you in this world and what's going on around you in this country, and that it matters to you, that it's not just anybody can do anything. It ain't gonna affect me. It affects all of us. Whoever's the president, whoever's in any form of position of power in America, it does affect you. It affects your community, and down to the alderman. And if anybody's below that, I don't know personally, but you know, it matters. You know, you have to put your 2 cents into who you want out there. So you have to get out there and vote. You have to get out there and show that what's going on in this country right now, it matters to what you got going on to yourself.
Joe Giuliano.
Good to see you, Shaka. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
Good, thank you. 2 questions. One, did it ever enter your mind that there may not be football this year? And 2, what was your sense of relief when you finally heard officially that there would be?
You know, like I said, I just try to just zone out of it at some point. You know, it just got too stressful and overwhelming. You know, I'm pretty sure anybody can imagine, you know, if your job tells all you got to go home and every day you're hearing a new outlet say, oh no, it's back open, but then it's not open, you know. So it became too stressful. So I kind of just stepped back from it, and just finding out that we was going to play, you know, it was good because we were prepared. You know, we kept working out, you know, we kept training, kept practicing, you know, voluntarily. The entire team was up here. God just focused on what we can control, and we just stayed ready. So now we get the opportunity to go out there and compete against Indiana week 1. So, you know, everything worked out for us just fine.
Justin Morgenstein.
Hey, Shaka, thanks for doing this. I just wanted to ask you, you know, you've been able in your time here to play with some really talented and learn from some really talented pass rushers. in your last season here, is all that, learning and, experience and reps is that gonna come together for you? Do you expect that, to really lead you to having your best season this year?
Yeah, I always try to build off of what I've done before. Working on my game, Coach Scott, Coach Dion, they're real crucial on the little details that I need to work on as a defensive end, as a pass rusher, as a run defender. Effort, everything. We work on those things every day, and everything. It feels like for me, it's coming along strongly, even without the spring ball. It just feels like everything's just kind of just flowing for me, and I'm just gonna take it one day at a time, a humble approach, and try to be the best person I can be a leader, set the example for my young guys and players on my team alike.
Gianna?
Yes. Hi, Shaka.
How you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Honestly, through your character, what are some of those final moments in your career at Penn State, look like to you? What does that last impression kind of say in your career here?
For me, the biggest thing is growth. Nobody starts out perfect. I wasn't one of them, but I think one thing about me that everybody is going to say when I walk out of here is Shaka growing into a great young man, and I just want to keep getting better. I try to just leave a lasting impression that I gave my all to this program. I gave my all to my teammates, my coaches, the staff, to people that work in the building. I just gave my all, and I just try to make sure I introduce myself to everybody I meet. Try to smile, look for people to be down, to just go over there and just ask, like, hey man, how you doing? You need, like, what's going on? You look kind of down. I just try to just be an ultimate teammate so that people just remember, like, Shaka was always a good friend first, and that he grew as a person every single year. That's just the best thing I think I can do for myself, where, your numbers, they eventually fade. Somebody breaks them. You being here, you'll walk down college after 10 years. People won't really recognize you anymore. It would mean the world to me that's how people remember me, as that I did my best as a person, as a teammate, and as a friend.
Ryan Snyder.
Thanks for this, Shaka. Last night, Coach Franklin had a lot to say about Nick Burton and just his, rehab and everything he dealt with. Can you talk a little bit about, what you've seen from him over the years, and maybe just kind of what you expect from him this season? The guy has been overlooked for a while now.
Man, Nicky Fire Fingers right there. That boy is good. He done. I love Burton so much. Everybody knows how we are on the D line, how tight we are. That was one of our brothers that had to overcome things here. Coach Franklin talks about process and talks about where some people careers start, where some people careers can start up high, some people careers start down low, some people go up and down. And I think Burton is one of the people that he's always had a positive attitude going through anything he was going through. Like, he never was upset. He always available, emotional if he wasn't available physically. Like, Burton is a really, really good kid, and he been working, every day. He's out there 25 minutes before practice starts. He's out there 15 to 20 minutes after practice is over. He's very, very hungry to go out there and prove himself that he belongs here. I have nothing but high praise for Burton. He's a great person. Like, that's my guy. I could talk to him about anything. He comes to me about anything. I learn stuff from him. If he does something at practice, it's easy to just, hey man, what you do? And if he wants the same, I can reciprocate the information to him. Burton is the ultimate teammate of mine. He's one of my favorites. One of my favorites all the time I've been here with.
We'll go to Gabe.
Hey Shaka, hope you're doing well. What are some things you worked on?
Thank you.
What are some things you worked on? I know it was an unusual offseason, so you weren't able to fully maybe go through your normal offseason routine. But what are some things you worked on to take your name to another level?
For starters, my weight. Worked on my weight. Refining my body. Next, change the direction. Then after that, technique. Those are my three big things I wanted to delve into this year. As far as this offseason went, especially with Corona, I had time to really focus in on the things that I was doing, that I can excel at. And I felt like those were my three areas. And then just after those, my fourth one, I guess, would be just refining my craft every day, with all around as a defensive end. But just my technique as a pass rusher, that was big for me, learning how to precisely use my hands, when to do the right move, things like that. Weight is weight. Nothing wrong with being a little bit stronger, a little bit heavier. That was just the things that I chose to work on this off season.
Let's go to Parth.
Hey, Shaka, appreciate you doing this morning.
No problem. Thank you for asking questions.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure how close you and Lamont Wade are off the field, but just you
That's
having
my guy. I live with him.
That's your guy? Okay.
Yeah.
How have you seen fatherhood kind of make him a better man on the football field and off of it? And how do you feel because of that?
I tell him all the time he a great father. Coming from my city, I know a lot of people whose fathers aren't there. And I know one of my closest friends from home, his dad lives in our neighborhood and doesn't talk to him. And I watch Lamont, if he goes into a store and he gets something simple as a t-shirt, he'll make sure his son get it too. He's grown so much maturity and just as a person from having a son, because, having a child is responsibility, and he stepped up to that plate. That's really what he's somebody you could take a page out of in your life when you have a child. Like, this is what I need to be doing. He always calls his son. Any chance he gets, he'll drive the 2.5 hours after a practice just to go talk to his son, just to go be there for him if something's wrong. Him and his son got the funniest relationship. I remember the other day he called and was like, "You playing football?" He young as ever, and like the fact that he knows his dad plays football is just a credit to Lamont's genes and just how he's been raising his son. That his son is so smart and intellectual already that his presence of mind know where his father's at, even though he's not even in the same city as him. Lamont's a great dad. That's a great friend. Like that's my brother. I'm proud to call him my brother.
All right, Grace Brennan. Oop, you should go. Oops, sorry, I think I muted you. No bad. Are you there, Grace? Go ahead, Grace, if you're there.
Yeah, can you give us a scouting report on Caden Wallace?
I can't do that, but I can tell you Caden Wallace put in a whole lot of work this offseason. He changed himself 180, 360 if you want, whatever you want to call it. Caden Wallace put that work in. I'm proud of Caden Wallace. Great teammate once again, and he wants to learn. There's some people, you come in as a high recruit, you think you got all the answers. That kid, he starts with a clean slate every day, and he gets to better every day. So I'm really excited for Caden Wallace this year. He's going to be a great player here.
All right, Elton Hayes.
Hey, Shaka, what's it been like this unconventional, off season, spring and summer, getting used to Coach, John Scott being new, not being able to spend the normal amount of time you would around him. What are some of your biggest takeaways from him, and what are some things that kind of stand out about his coaching style?
For one, intellect. I'm big on knowing football, knowing how to do football. He can have, we joke around saying 100 level, 200, 300, 400 level, classes. There's always 400 level conversations with him and it's explained crystal clear. There's never a stone that you can feel. Like he'll spend 20 minutes on one play if you got 20 minutes with the questions. I love the detail of him. He just makes sure that it's going to be done right. And then he has expectations. He always tells you, you're going to talk, make sure you walk. He comes out every day, we drill the basics. But if we do something that he feels like we need to, like if it's something that he sees in a practice the day before that we need to get better at, we'll come out the next day and be working on it. That's just all great tools to just build a great D-line, like just consistency and wanting to work harder, things like that. He's got in our room. He hasn't come into our room. I said it before. Some coaches come in and try to throw out everything that your culture and all that because they're a new coach. He didn't do that. He came in, he integrated his own stuff, and we've been rolling ever since. He goes above and beyond for our room. He's building chemistry every day. People can trust him more now on the field. You get to talk to him. He's just He's a great coach. He's a great coach. He's going to do big. He's going to help us. We take another step this year. He was a great addition.
All right, Joe.
Shaka, 3 weeks till the opener. How do you think the defensive line has looked to this point? And are there one or two guys who have really impressed you with their improvement?
I'm excited for the opener. Like I said, we can't be excited to play football. You said, how the D-line's going to look? We doing great. Every day we building upon it. You know, every day is the day to get better. And we learning new stuff every day. You know, it's a tough challenge with COVID not having spring ball. So we all just learning how to get better every single day. We're just working at our craft. And, you know, we're going to be ready for the opener. But, you know, we got a lot more steps we need to take before we get there, before we can call ourselves anything but a finished product. You know, everybody every day has stuff to work on, from myself down to the newest freshman. You know, everybody's got to get better. And as far as a couple guys that stand out, there's always my baby calf, Adisa Isaac, learning how to do new things. He's understanding football, going to be a dominant player. I keep telling people, you know, people are going to see. Second guy, I have to say my man Burton, you know, just having him back out there, his energy, violent D lineman, you know, strike, effort, and he works on his pass rush every day. So those are my two. You know, just every single day they're coming out, every day coming out and doing well.
John Petitioner.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. How you doing today, Shaka?
How you doing? I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Hey, earlier this week, James was asked about, and he talked about the diversity among the coaching staff. From a player's perspective, what's the impact on and off the field when you do have a coaching staff that is so diverse?
On and off the field, it gives you a chance to always see different perspectives. You know, in football, I've talked about it before, just like it's a melting pot. So you get different people from different backgrounds, different upbringings, different way they view how they should handle stuff in life. And it just gives you just a plethora of knowledge and just a wealth of people that you can go to different things about, you know, whether it's about football and, well, maybe like Coach Rocket just came from Minnesota. I can go ask him about some stuff that I was doing. What did you think I did well last year as an offensive coordinator? What you think I didn't do well as an offensive coordinator? And then I can walk right over to Coach Torstein and ask him, like, you know, well, what's your opinion on what's going on in America? They just give you a chance to go talk to any and everybody and just get a different feedback and be able to just learn about yourself and about what's going around you, how people think around you. So it's really, really, really great. You know, diversity is one of the best things you can do because it really can teach people from the perspective of another person.
Gabe?
So you shared the field a lot, but you tore Gross Matos for the last few years. What are some things you picked up from him that you've implemented into your game?
Relentlessness. If you watch Etor, he's always moving, sprinting to the ball. You can't teach that stuff. You know, that's something that somebody has to want to do. And, you know, I just want to make sure I always have that about my game, always being around the ball and finishing. And the other thing is just learning how he did things when it came to the run game as far as manipulating offensive linemen at the point of attack. One of the best strikes I've seen before. He always in where he need to be. You know, those two things that I really took away from Yi.
Dustin?
Hey, Shaka. I wanted to ask you about speed and the amount of speed that you guys have at those defensive end spots. How does that kind of compare to maybe some of the other groups of defensive ends you've been part of here? And how important is that, you know, not just for you guys, but for the defense as a whole to kind of pose that threat?
As far as our room compared to the rooms that I've been here, I'd definitely say we're more on the like speed and athletic side than the big power guys like Ryan Buckholz and Torrance Brown. Sharif is more of a hybrid in my opinion because he had both. But you know, it's how the recruits that we have here and people understanding their role and developing, and you know, we all make sure we add it to our games to be able to not just pass rush, but also do everything else that we need. As far as helping the defense with speed, you know, I just think it helps us set edges, expectation that you should have a guy 250 to 270 sprinting down the line of scrimmage, you know, or chasing down things backside. You know, we have to use our speed to help our team make plays, because at the end of the day, if you a big guy hitting a little guy is always a great thing, as Coach Pride says. So we got to do our job and not just be out there, you know, looking good. You got to go out there and make your plays to help your team.
Justin Morganson.
Shaka, being a veteran on this defense, especially with Micah gone, you know, how much responsibility are you going to put on yourself this season to, you know, be a leader and be accountable for, you know, the guys in the rest of the defense that haven't been here as long as you have?
I mean, it's nothing new. I was a leader last year. People always kind of gravitate towards me. Just wasn't a captain, you know, but you can always lead, always set the right example. So there's no new pressure. You know, I hold myself, my older guys, they hold me accountable. So, and our team, we don't got to say much. You know, we're a player-led team. People get the picture, understand you can't do certain things. So the most you probably have to do is just remind the guy, hey man, you do it like this. And then if a guy messes up, it's easy to talk to him, because we're not real defensive. You know, people take coaching well here and taking life lessons well too. You know, that's a sign of growth and sign of maturity, and that's something that we pride ourselves on. So it's no new pressure. It is nothing. There's nothing different. I love Micah, but one person can't change the show. You know, everybody's got to be able to carry the mantle. You know, it'd been a blessing to have him here out there leading with us. But you know, everybody's just stepping up.
All right, then go to Audrey.
Shaka, sorry if you've been asked this already, but when you look at this defensive line and all that's changed coaching staff-wise too, what's the relationship been like, not only with Coach Scott, but also with Deion Barnes?
Both of them, just a wealth of knowledge. Like I said, just drilling every single day, you know, what you got to work on. And then the feedback, you know, there's never a time where you're not learning how to get better. They don't mind repeating themselves, and they love questions. You know, some coaches don't like repeating themselves over and over again. But I'm a questions person. I have no pride when it comes to learning football. You know, I believe in being a student at all times of the game. And one thing they both do is make sure your technique's crisp and make sure that you know what you got going on. You know, and after that, and they're just teaching you football. If you get this block, oh, this is what you should have done. Oh, if this happened during the course of the play, this is what you could have done. And it's just everyday repetition. That's something that I'm very happy to have. You know, I had it with Coach Spence, and now it's like revved up even more because Deion's out there. He crazy too. You know, so it's just a blessing to have both of them, really. You know, it's tough losing a coach and getting new coaches. You don't really know what's going to happen. Like I said, once more, was the perfect hire. He fits great for us.
Grace Brennan.
Vilbert.
What'd you say?
Can you give us some insight on Smith Vilbert?
Smith, long, rangy kid, very athletic, so coachable. You know, he's just like Adisa. If I tell him to do 7 jumping jacks and a backflip and a speed rip, he's going to do it. Smith wants to get better every day. Real quiet guy, but if you talk to him, he lights up like a light bulb. You know, he's another one of the people that you just want to be around. He makes you laugh. He's like a subtle jokester. He's somebody, he talks out the side of his mouth out of nowhere. He say something funny. You be like, dang, was that you, Smith? And, you know, Smith's going to be a good player. He's going to be a good player.
David Eckert.
Hey, Shaka, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing good, thanks. Hey, I wanted to ask you, from your perspective, you know, what are kind of your early takeaways on, you know, the offensive line under Coach Troutwain? Is anything different there? Is there anything you've been able to notice?
For starters, confidence. A lot of those guys that, you know, sometimes could feel it's hard in football. It's always an up and down game. No matter what, you try to just remain as level-headed as possible. He's given a lot of those guys the confidence and making them compete more than I've ever seen in my years here. He's real crisp on their technique. They're all doing things that is going to get them better every single day. You know I keep saying it, but the little details of being an old lineman, how to combo block, if you see this on the backside, can you let him go? Like, he's giving them intellect and he's giving them a willpower. You know, if you're Division I, if you make it to college at all, you got some type of talent. And I think he's learning. I think he's drawing out more and more of that talent, more and more of that intellect, and it's really nice to see. It's, to me, on the outside looking in, it looks like they gel well and they really like Coach. I like him too. Yesterday in the warm-up line, I asked him about a question about a set that I got, and he literally spent the whole time jogging back and forth explaining it to me. So, Coach, I like him a lot. He's a really, really good coach, and it shows, like, you know, the national championships, NFL, all that knowledge shows with him. Like, just watching how the O-line is developing, it shows a lot. He was a phenomenal addition.
All right, Parth, we'll try and sneak in one more for you here.
Yeah, Shaka, I don't know if somebody asked you this already, but when you think about it, who's one player that you think that maybe us as media haven't thought of that is poised to have a breakout year this fall?
Offensively and defensively?
Either or. You can name one player overall too.
Okay. Defensively, oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna say Jesse Luketa. You know, Jesse working. You know, he put in living. I live right up down the street from him, and I work out with Jesse all the time. Jesse's one of them people that want to be great so bad he's willing to do anything to get there. You know, a lot of people will say they want to be great and don't want to put that extra work in. I watch him every day put that extra work in. We drive home together. Before I even put my key in, he's already watching practice. Like, you know, he's gonna put that work in every day, and it builds a trust factor knowing that how hard he's working, and it set an example for yourself and my others. Like, yo, if he working that hard, I need to make sure I'm matching it, if not better. And offensively, somebody that people don't talk about that's going to do really well, Des Holmes. Gillis, that boy, he got a great punch, great feet. You know, he's getting confidence that I always knew that he had. So I can see Des having a good year himself too. That would be my two.
All right, we're getting the final countdown, so we'll end it right there. Thank you, media, for joining us these past few days here, and thank you so much, Shaka, for spending your time here today.